Good morning, good morning. Today we're going to be taking a look at XRP, some Velo data, Bitcoin, and the Sigma coin. So, all right, checking in here today, we've got a chopping range. So since, what was this, Thursday? Yep, so since Thursday, after we completed a capitulation, finally set a low, we ended up now chopping with a higher low and just kind of working through our deviation ranges here as we've been working our way down. So, but what's great about what we're doing now thus far is the trend change. And so what we're looking for is we have lower low, lower low, lower low, higher high steps in for the first time, right? Higher low, higher low, higher low, and higher low, right? So we're now beginning the march. This is what we want to see for the next leg of what we're planning on moving up and more so. When we zoom out now and we kind of look at the larger time frame, we can see that this pattern of our wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a continuation for our fifth for a blow off kind of top for the fifth move should take us back up into this higher range here of moving to the upside and completing this view. So now walk with me here. Basically what we're going to do is we have a capitulation breakdown, a roll up, and a finish move, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to show that this schematic is the same concept. So here's a capitulation breakdown, a roll up, and then a finish. Okay, so we just basically did that right there. ABC back up again. And then so from here we go ABC back up again. We move up into the middle of the range here. And in this case, we actually went up to the top of the range. Okay. Then we roll over and we do an ABC, another 5-wave move to the downside. So you can see the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that ends up playing, or you can do one. It's probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's your fifth wave, finishing the down move for the lowest low. And then here's your fifth wave, finishing the down move for the lowest low. And now we end up doing a parabolic run to the top of the range with a 5-wave breakout that ends up actually going at or above this region here. And so you can see that if this is that region, then we do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we move up to the top of the region, get up to the +2 deviations, get back up to the +2 deviations. Then we have to actually lose the whole thing again, come back down with a higher low. So that's what we were talking about, where we were saying we were going to then come in and do this kind of structure here. Then from there, you end up setting your, so this is wave 1 and wave 2 of the next degree. And now we're actually working on wave 1 and wave 2 of the third wave, which is now printing, getting ready to move to the upside. So you can see how this only comes up mid-range. So we could see something along these lines where this guy doesn't really make it that high, right? So it ends up coming down here, and we end up having to just chop sideways for another period of time for a long drawn-out ABC, taking us into the end of the year, something like that, just to be painful to everybody. So everyone's looking at XRP saying, oh, wow, look at how horrible it's doing. It's just chopping sideways. But what we're basically identifying here is this pattern has occurred many times in XRP's history. And the good news is we're now setting higher lows. So just like with this, we should be expecting higher lows, but they're going to have a lot of trading of this range playing out before the breakout because XRP likes the parabolic fifth. So I'm hoping here over the next few days, we should see XRP break back out from here and move up to the top of the range to give us another level or an attempt here at this 275 region, and then we'll start working our way breaking back down again. So anyway, so that's kind of an idea, and you can see how aggressive this ends up being for the ABC. So 5, yeah, that's just a big WXY. Wow, pretty gross. Anyway, so we'll ultimately see this coin move up to the top of the range, break down, move up, back down again, and then we'll be finally able to get out of here somewhere probably based off just kind of how these are looking towards the end of December would be my guess, is where January is where we would start seeing the shift out of this region after doing all this chop, and everyone just gets bored and capitulates with envy because other coins are going. So now the good news, so again, zooming in here, we have continual higher lows. Yay, that's what you want to see. So expecting a continuation to the upside. We shouldn't lose either of these lows here. So at this current point in time, stops are set down in these regions. If we head lower, we'll just reaccumulate down here. And something obviously has shifted. But as of right now, I'm still leaning towards the idea that because of the higher low setups, we have a trend change to the upside. So you say, okay, momentum wise, we also have a shift up there as well. And so now VLO data is also supporting that. Huge open interest increase. Okay, so it's still going back up. So if you remember, we were way unhealthy. Oops, way up here, super unhealthy, couldn't sustain it, liquidation. Now we've never actually reclaimed the healthy area, which is above this green line. So we've been below the green line the entire time. Leverage has not returned to XRP because they keep washing machine everybody out of it. And now the leverage that has shown up has increased, getting back up to the healthy line. And we are actually seeing a massive drop down in direction. So it's mostly shorts loading up. And we can see that those shorts are here on the higher time frames, pushing us into this region easily back up to there on the 48-hour. Now, 12-hour, we've had some longs show up, so they're down here. So we shouldn't come and get these guys because of the structure that we're building. But if we do, then we'll have to reassess what has changed at that point. And then as far as the 2-week is concerned, if this one loads for me, we've got mostly everybody way up here in the high region of the liquidity. So, oh, there it goes. Yep, right up into this 261 region, right up there to 260, 261. And if we come back to our larger macro view, this would take us up to about 261 to 265, maybe even a squeeze all the way up to 277 to a +3, which would be really awesome. Distribute and break down, right? So that's what the expectation for me is for the coming days. I'm expecting, hopefully here, with how parabolic XRP can go, that we'll see something by Monday, because these final legs, when they do show up, tend to be pretty aggressive, right? So you get down here, and then it's whoop, and just off it goes. So we'll see how that ends up ultimately playing. And finally, Bitcoin. What are we doing over here? Well, Bitcoin's momentum has shifted double positive. We've got all three momentum indicators on the 4-hour pushing back up. So and the completion of our 5-wave move to the downside after our larger A, B, C, and then we have our C leg completing the 5 waves to the downside here. And so that should hopefully see Bitcoin and everybody else taking back a big chunk of this range, giving XRP the opportunity with the overall market to push back up with everything and then continue its chop for wave 1 and 2 of the next leg, looking very similar to what you would see here, of just infinite sadness for everybody who holds XRP, wondering when is this thing going to go. And we end up getting another month plus of sideways, of one more push and then sadness and then sadness and then eventually happiness. So all right, so we'll be continuing watching in on this, checking in. Oh, and Sigma, let's jump over there. So Sigma, it's messing around. So we have some interesting things to discuss here. So we've got our breakout. What we saw was a flat breaking down off of the move here. We've dropped into 888, crazy considering we were down here right after the capitulation event. So definitely it's taking its toll on people. And there's now a potential that I'm seeing here where what we were looking for, which was a rising wedge, we have invalidated now with a lower low. Now, these are memes, so they don't necessarily always mean invalidation, but we may be getting more discounted Sigma, which would be crazy. And so we'll see what the reaction is off of these levels. When we move to like larger time frames, I believe we have, oops, come on. This one's messing up too. But anyway, larger time frames, we had the RSIs playing out fairly well, to showing a reversal potential. But yeah, I was surprised that we had that big of a capitulation with selling. And I think just people are having a hard time with just this entire market at this point. So yeah, we're not going to get that back. So basically, long story short, the final move and view would be that we have hopefully a rally to the upside that will bring Sigma up with it. Bitcoin will also lead into that with its momentum over the coming 4-hour candles here, completing its larger 5-wave move to the downside. And then we now ultimately will get the shorts squeezed, and then the longs will load in, and then they'll squeeze the longs. And we're just going to have more of a massive accumulation, which will be setting higher lows until it's not. So what we're looking for, again, when we get to the top, is that trend change. Higher low, higher low, higher low, lower high, right? So that's the key. Once you see the lower high, now you know you got to start exiting into that lower high. And in this case, so if we just flip it like this, this is what you're going to be looking at, hopefully at the top here, and it's not violent, but we can quickly see a lower high get set, and then a lower high, and we can then exit, short, and move our way back down to the bottom of the range. So, all right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and we will check in tomorrow.